Hey there folks, Peter here with BlackRock Business, and today in the world of point of sale, QuickBooks point of sale that is, we are going to talk about how to delete a vendor. Well, why would you want to delete a vendor? Well, maybe you're just not using them anymore, maybe your vendor list is really long and every time you go to create a purchase order or a receiving voucher, you're just sick of slogging through all of these vendors who you no longer use anymore. And so we're going to get into it and show you how to delete those vendors out, one or many, and pare down your list so you can use it more effectively. Before we do that, don't forget to check the link in the description down below. Get on over to our QuickBooks Point of Sale Facebook group. It's a great community where you can ask questions about point of sale or issues you're having, and people such as me or other community members will answer your questions accordingly. Otherwise, if you're on YouTube, subscribe below and you will get all of our new videos which are coming out, which are all the time, and that would be great. All right, let's go ahead and do it. We're in QuickBooks Point of Sale and we are going to hit the vendor list. And here I have a very small vendor list, but that doesn't mean we can't start deleting left and right. Oh yeah. All right, so a couple of things to keep in mind when you're going to delete a vendor. If you delete the vendor here in point of sale, but it still remains in QuickBooks accounting, it may actually repropagate back over to point of sale. So we're gonna click on this. We're gonna find out if it actually allows us to automatically delete it from this point. And if it doesn't, then you're gonna wanna open your QuickBooks accounting and also do it there. Another thing to keep in mind, if this vendor is attached to documents in the history, that is fine. You can still search for POs and receiving vouchers and items using the vendor name, and you can use that as criteria, but you just won't see them here and you won't see them in lists where you want to add them to a document. So I'm going to choose two-sided vendor, which was an experiment. No, actually I think I'm going to do Ultimate Peter because I'm still working on the two-sided vendor experiment. That's a story for another day. All right, so Ultimate Peter, we're going to delete them. I'm going to hit the big blue delete button here. And it's going to pop up and say, are you sure about this? And I'm going to say, heck yeah, I want to delete it. So here is the question I was speaking of. Would you also like to remove this vendor from your QuickBooks financial software? If we answer no, it may be added back to the point of sale customer list. I think that's a typo there. I think that's supposed to say vendor list and the next data exchange. So apparently they just copied this box straight from deleting a customer, but it should say vendor, of course. So I'm gonna hit yes, and there you go. Ultimate Peter, the vendor, is gone, and he is also going to be removed from my QuickBooks accounting because I hit yes. So thanks for coming along on this journey on how to delete a vendor. A few other, let's see, quick notes is if you're deleting this vendor because you already have him in the list, you may want to think about actually merging vendors. That's a much better option where you retain all the information and documents under one vendor as a final step. If you go from a PO and you do a receiving voucher and you receive on a vendor that you've already deleted, it's actually going to recreate that vendor. So if you have outstanding POs for this particular vendor that you're deleting, don't delete it until you've received all of your merchandise, or you're just going to end up having to delete it again in the future anyway. All right, my name's Peter with BlackRock Business. Thanks for coming along on this video journey into QuickBooks Point of Sale. You have yourself a wonderful day. Bye-bye.